Good morning, Chairman Keane and members of the Commission. Thank you for calling this important public hearing on emergency preparedness.
A little closer to the microphone.
Oh, sorry. I'm pleased to represent Secretary Ridge and the Department of Homeland Security today to discuss the state of public-private sector initiatives in this vital area. The Department's commitment to partnering with the private sector is reflected in the organization of the Department. Within the Office of the Secretary is a team of talented people solely dedicated to working with the private sector to improve coordination, communication, and cooperation. Often, when discussing the public and private sectors, the focus is on the differences between the two. However, I see one very strong similarity that has become especially evident since the September 11th attack. Among the highest priorities, if not the highest priority, of both sectors is the protection and safety of their workers and customers, particularly against terrorism. Toward that end, the Department of Homeland Security is working to expand the very successful Ready.gov campaign to target the private sector. The goal of the effort is to develop guidelines for businesses on how they can best protect their employees and business processes in today's threat environment. The guidance focuses on planning, communication, and training for employees so that they are familiar with and practiced in the full range of protective measures that may be necessary. It also addresses the importance of business continuity planning. These efforts can and do pay off. Business continuity and contingency planning has taken on a new urgency and importance in both the public and private sectors. Developing the capability to recover quickly from any form of disruption, natural or man-made, ensures that essential government services and vital business activities continue. This ability to continue functioning in the face of adversity provides not only the practical benefit of continuing business, it also provides a significant psychological benefit by demonstrating success of our preparedness activities and planning efforts, and by allowing essential goods and services to continue to be available during times of crisis. One area in which the Department is leading significant efforts that will shape the guidance we develop for our workers and the plans we create for all contingencies is in the area of standards and guidelines. This effort represents one of the three significant trends developing in public safety that will shape public-private sector involvement and cooperation in preparedness, response, and recovery as we move into the future. The major trend areas are: first, developing a nationwide system for public safety, or the National Incident Management System. Two, the regionalization of public safety assets, both public and private. And third, the enhanced information sharing. As called for by the National Strategy for Homeland Security and in Homeland Security Presidential Directive, or HSPD 5, Department of Homeland Security is currently leading an effort to develop a national incident management system. This will provide a systematic framework that will allow us as a nation to better respond to incidents of national significance, as well as in day-to-day incidents around the country. Building on the principles of the Incident Command System, NIMS will provide a common method of responding, including common terms, common command and control, scalability to fit any incident, and uniformity and standards. It will support and make easier mutual aid across and among jurisdictions at the local, regional, and national levels. For the private sector, this means that the public sector will be better organized and will operate in largely the same fashion across the nation. This will provide a significant benefit to the private sector in planning for their own activities during an event, and also in knowing how, where, and when to plug into a response and to offer the most effective and needed support. We will accomplish this by implementing NIMS in our planning, training, and exercise together on a regional basis. The private sector's role in this regionalization will be realized by becoming part of the system of public safety in the region and integrating their assets and resources into the public safety system there. We are becoming one team, one fight, and this is the collaboration that the world we now live in requires. We train together, we need to train together, exercise together, and build plans together. Unity of effort will be the key to success. As you know, much has happened since the tragic events of September 11th that make our country stronger, safer, and more secure. In particular, significant collaboration between the public and private sectors has and continues to lead to better preparedness. I'd like to address a few of the key initiatives that highlight the collaboration. One is the initiative in the public-private sector collaboration is in the Homeland Security Advanced Research Project Agency to guide private sector efforts in developing technologies most needed to prevent, respond to, and recover from terrorism. Through the Science and Technology Directorate, the Department of Homeland Security is harnessing the nation's scientific knowledge to protect America and our way of life. Private industry is a key partner in this effort, and the Directorate is working with large and small firms in the following ways. Contracting tools that simplify interactions with the private industry. HSARPA is leading the Department's efforts to attract private industry to Homeland Security research and development. Implementing the Safety Act, a tool to encourage development and deployment of qualified anti-terrorism technologies. And working with private industry on interoperability of communications. In May of 2003, HSARPA and the Technical Support Working Group, or TSWIG, released a joint broad agency announcement for near-term technologies that can be rapidly prototyped and deployed to the field. More than 3,340 responses were received in the following broad categories: chemical, biological, radiation, and nuclear countermeasures, PPE or personal protective equipment, explosive detection, infrastructure protection, physical security, and investigative support and forensics. Responses are currently being reviewed and contract awards are beginning. Another important initiative is the establishment of the Private Sector Senior Advisory Council as part of the Homeland Security Advisory Council, which I'm pleased to be here with one of the members of that council. The PSAC is comprised of senior private sector leaders from across the country who will meet regularly to advise the Department on Homeland Security issues and concerns, especially as they impact the private sector. They will also review relevant national policy and operational documents to ensure that the private sector requirements and concerns are adequately addressed. Another initiative has been the creation of the Critical Emergency Operations Communications Link, known as the CEO Comlink, by the Business Roundtable. CEO Comlink provides a secure telephone communication systems to connect businesses and government to exchange threat and crisis information in a timely manner. The capability to communicate with private sector leaders around the country and to provide critical information regarding potential threats is vital to protecting our critical infrastructure and maintaining Homeland Security. As Director of the Office of National Capital Region Coordination, I have seen the efforts and priorities of the private sector being shaped at the regional level. Through close coordination with the Greater Washington Board of Trade, the private sector in the National Capital Region is developing a regional recovery resource catalog of private sector assets and an accompanying implementation strategy for use of the assets in the case of an emergency. They are also organizing a volunteer regional private sector leadership team to help the private sector speak with a collective voice to aid economic recovery in the National Capital Region. Finally, they are developing a baseline assessment of the potential economic impacts of possible risks and scenarios that may serve as a basis of additional or incident-specific federal, state, and local support. Secretary Ridge recently stated, "Every citizen, family, and business owner and employee can and must be empowered in their own protection. We cannot wait and let others act for us. Businesses must take ownership of Homeland Security. You must be ready." Those words speak not only to the need for each and every one of us to be ready, but also for us to be ready collectively. We must continue to develop the communication and coordination between public and private sectors so that we are prepared for all threats, so that we can quickly respond and more easily recover should something happen. We must build on the public-private initiatives developed since 9/11 and continue our efforts to make our country better, safer, and stronger.